Hello everybody, welcome to OCHD and welcome to another Jump Hootie Heroes news video. Today we actually got the data download, so there's quite a lot of information. I'm not going to touch on everything. I'm going to wait until I have the news post done and I can go through everything bit by bit because there's quite a lot in there. But I can at least go over some of the information that we have today. At least we've got a few bits here that are already in game. Starting off with the character announcements. We had Roboco as expected, but unfortunately, it would appear that Bondo, who I was expecting to, I was expecting it to be a pair with Roboco being Gacha and Bondo being a free-to-play unit. Bondo is not being added to the game yet. Instead, Bondo is part of Roboco's win animation, so I'm I'm a little bit disappointed, I guess. Probably they will add him in the future, I suppose, but for now, he's not here. Roboco is most certainly a unit that can be obtained for free. I cannot find any information anywhere just yet that explicitly states whether she is a vent unit or a hero grade unit. Bear in mind, last New Year, we got a hero grade unit for free when Inamaru was introduced, so we don't know 100% for sure, but I'm pretty certain she is just an event unit, and she's like a special kind of event unit. You need a special evolver for her, you need special power-up items for her, like she is her own sort of thing. So, kind of cool. I'm glad they put the effort in to make her event at least feel a little bit special. Then we have the special New Year Bobobo. Now, we've been in need of a new Bobobo, but I will make a point that we have a Bobobo event coming up literally later this month, and so I'm a little bit I'm a little bit torn on this. I said before about the Talavru units, it feels a bit just a bit strange, a bit weird timing to release new units for the series when you know there's going to be a new event very shortly. It's a little bit worse with Talavru simply because Talavru historically, while it hasn't had like a feature festival or anything, and it probably hasn't had has it had as much content as Bobobo in total? I'm not sure, but it's the fact that we've had 3 new units in quick succession, all in the lead up to the release of the Talavru event. At least with Bobobo, the last time we had content was some time ago, so it's only 1 unit. It's a bit more forgivable. The sprite looks good, to be fair, although as far as I can see, this version of Bobobo is adapted from like 1 page, so I don't really know what that's about, but I think it's one of those series where they can get away with stuff like that. And then we have Pino Tomaru from Mr. Full Swing, probably one of the more notable characters from the series not yet added to the game, and another Mr. Full Swing character 1 year later, another New Year event. So I kind of like it when they do stuff like that, when we see a commonality of typically around this time of year we get a unit from that series, especially for series that typically do not get a lot of content. Now that's it for this event, which might seem a little bit on the small side, and I can assure you, yes, it is a little bit on the small side, especially for a New Year event, but even for a regular event, 7 units is not a lot, but as I suspected, it does indeed look like this event only runs for 10 days. So from the 1st until the 10th, and then after that it gets a bit weird. It's looking a lot like there's going to be a gap between this event and the Bobobo event that will be filled with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Reprint. I don't know how long that's going to be. I don't know if there's going to be any overlap, but we'll know more about that soon. For now, I suppose we should just focus on what we do know. Lights Gacha was announced, and he requires 20 multis with the current information we have, which is just absurd. Of course, we don't have full information on this gacha yet, so that could be misleading. You know, it could be that there are some discounts we don't know about, that there are some free multis, that there are some bonus multis that they haven't listed in the current data. I don't want to go all doom and gloom until we have the full information. But if what we have, as it stands, is correct, that's not ideal. And then we have Boruto and Naruto, whose gacha is a bit on the better side, but again, very expensive. 15 multis to get them. But at least you have a chance to get them on the 10th multi, I suppose. Well, you'll have a chance to get light on the way too, but it's not great. I think this banner does at least have some upside in the sense that there are other limiteds on there, and so why it would be a shame to get another limited on the way up to getting them if you just wanted them. At least you could get another limited. I think the only bonus on Light's banner is the new heroes, which I'm sure are good, but anyway, these two are, until we have further information on these two banners, highly suspicious, and definitely something to be wary of. As for the free units, well, not free actually, we've got to talk about the gacha verse. These two are gacha, both standard gacha and both on Light's banner. I have a sneaking suspicion that dual unit, quote unquote, that they said would be coming for New Year was Naruto and Boruto, and that was supposed to be part of this event from the start. But I think Light and Ryuk may have been added to take the place of something else last minute. And I think that Light and Ryuk being on the banner with these two New Year costumed units is probably a sign that there was some quite large shift, at least in that gacha, if not in also the events. I'm not really sure how I feel about both of these being gacha. Like, I think the sprites are very nice and I think it's cool and all, but I don't know, it's a bit free to love through gacha units. That's another thing about the Bobobo. Bobobo is free. We've had free to love through gacha units in a row. One of them is seasonal. These two could also be seasonal. We don't have the information yet to necessarily confirm or deny that. But it's not ideal. And as for the free units, as you can see, there are only 3 there, and that's because there are only 3 farmable units. There is some other stuff like points, events, and that. And there is one more character technically. And that is Obito Uchiha, the one that recently released on the Tier 1 version. He will be coming over to the JP version, but currently we do not know how you obtain him. He could be added to the updated Super Dimensional Battle. He could be added to the Sparks of a Lost Civilization game mode. I think that's probably the most likely scenario. There are options for where they could put him, but ultimately, he's not going to be a standard event unit. He's not going to be a standard farmable. These are your standard farmables to fill the 10 days, which, I mean, I guess 10 days is not that long, so 3 units is, while not ideal, it's livable. But I feel like I probably would have made one of these two into an event unit, right? That seems to make the most sense. Then again, I don't think anyone would be going 20 multis for this banner if it didn't have 2 new heroes on it. Well, even with 2 new heroes, I don't think many people want to go 20 multis for this, so it's all a bit of a mess, I've got to be honest with you. But 7 unit event for New Year, that's quite disappointing. I'm really hoping the rewards are going to be on point. Now, something I'd like to mention, if you are somebody who wants to spend on the game and has wanted to spend on the game, but simply the only thing stopping you is the sale packs are not good enough. Well, they've been doing these monthly packs that only run for a few days, and to be honest, there's 3 here, and 2 of them, in my eyes, are not particularly good. I would not, at this current point in time, I would not recommend anyone spending this much on the game. But if you must spend, if you feel like you want to get your ruby supply up, you're so desperate to get certain characters and you've just been a little bit short, this pack here is currently one of the best value packs you can possibly buy, because it is one of the only packs where the amount of yen you pay is less than the amount of rubies you receive. So you are getting more ruby per yen than any other pack. I think there's maybe one other pack that's better value, but you can't get 500 rubies from it. You get a much small, I think you get 750, but it's like over the course of a month or whatever. So it might be better, but with this pack, you'll be able to buy it 3 times. That's 1,500 rubies, and you're not even paying 1,500 yen. That's pretty good value. The 5-star ticket is just a 5-star ticket. Who cares? But generally speaking, this is one of the only good sales packs at the moment. I don't really recommend spending on the game at the moment because of the current situation. But if you feel the need to, if you must, that is probably the only pack worth buying right now. There are some packs coming over New Year that might be worth, but there's not much, and hardly any of them come close in value to this one. Then we had the final announcement of the Muso gacha, and my fears were unfounded. I thought it would only be like a 2-day gacha or something like that, but no. It runs the entirety of the month of January, and it actually starts in December, so you've got over a month. The format is fairly similar to... Actually, it's not similar to the normal Muso format. It's improved on the original Muso format. It's closer to the Densetsu format, but it still has the price of the Muso format. So this is actually an improvement. Overall, it's actually a massive improvement. Something that I haven't really talked about much, but the price is, I think, is basically the same. 32 multis, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4 free multis. Oh no, it is more expensive, isn't it? I didn't realize it is more expensive. So what? 28k rubies. Ah, that is unfortunate. Okay, 28k rubies. That is more. That is more than we were paying for Musos before, but you get limiteds on the way up. You get 4 limiteds on the way up, and you get a choice of Muso at the end, and obviously you have a chance to get Musos along the way. I'm not going to say this is amazing, but if you are planning to reroll, this is the banner. This is where you start your game. You try and get at least one of these bad boys, and you'll be good to go, but if you can get 2 on one account, that's mad. Under normal circumstances, in another game, I might suggest to try and go for even more stuff, like try and get 2 or 3 Musos and multiple limiteds, but I don't think they're giving out that many rubies on rerolls at the moment. Maybe there will be more in January, because New Year they might give us some more. But right now, I think you start with enough for maybe 2 multis. First multi's free, and that's another thing. You should do the first multi as it is free, regardless of whether you're planning to go all the way on the banner, but still good value in that regard. And I did say I would touch on the skills. I don't have a lot to share with you here in terms of insight. All I really have to say is they have been buffed significantly. I think one of the key things that they haven't really changed is the signature abilities of the Musos, except in the case of, I believe, Vegito. I believe Vegito has had his Pooty shot buffed, but only in tower. So it is a buff, and obviously if you're using him in tower, which I'm sure people are, I wouldn't know, I don't have him, then yes, his signature ability has been buffed to be somewhat useful in tower, whereas before the damage probably wasn't high enough for it to really be relevant. The buffs across the board, to be honest, are fantastic. A lot of units have become significantly stronger. One of my favorite units, Giotto, significantly stronger. But bear in mind that each of these is going to cost you an additional, well, depending on whether you want to do all their skills or just one, it could be 3 to 9 jewels, which is a lot. It really is a lot. Obviously, these are the highest tier of units in the game, so they should be high priority if you are going to use jewels on a character. But it's a lot to ask of players when not many jewels are being given out. On the bright side, I will let you know that they do have the battle rushes being reprinted in January. I believe it's all 3 of them, so you can get some jewels from there, and hopefully they'll be giving out more jewels as time goes on. But for now, I would say it might be difficult for you to max everything, but try your best to choose your favorites from these, because they're they have gotten significantly stronger, which is what I hoped would be the case. Now, one of the characters that I find very interesting is Yugi. Yugi falls into a weird category where he is a limited grade unit, but there is technically a way to obtain him for free. I am talking specifically about the Exodia Yugi, not the Slifer Yugi. The Exodia Yugi is available on the Bobobo series tickets. So if you were to get lucky, you could get this Yugi for free. And if you already had this Yugi, you could get duplicates of this Yugi for free. I'm not necessarily suggesting that it's likely that you will do that, but if you're one of the people that already had him maxed out, Bobobo tickets are probably worth investing in with whichever weekly medals you have left. And if the Bobobo event gives us a decent amount of tickets, get as many as you can. And try and get dupes of him before you even consider feeding Jules. He has got significantly stronger, but obviously as he is much older, it can be a bit difficult to commit to feeding Jules into a unit that is much older. But he has that upside that you might be able to get dupes for free, and that's a thing that happens moving forward. You'll be able to get more Bobobo tickets down the line. You never know, you might get lucky. I personally never have, but you might get lucky. So I think that's pretty cool. And part of me is hoping, I don't know how likely it is, it's probably not likely, but part of me is hoping if we do get a new Bobobo ticket, that they will feature this Yugi on it. I really don't think it's likely, but that would be very cool. They have sort of pivoted towards giving away more free goodies, not rubies, but like free summons and stuff, so it might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. We'll know soon enough. But yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to talk about for today. I'm going to go fully in-depth in a news video when I can get it out. I don't know how busy I'm going to be over the next couple of days, but I'm going to try and get the news post done, and we'll go from there. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.